Hello everyone, I'm Havoc, and this is Factorio Space Exploration Plus. And I've been a little busy off camera. I have been working on putting down some stone bricks over a large area that previously did not have it. And you'll see over here I did have some stone bricks. They kind of ended in this area, and then I have been adding them to the factory and expanding out in this area, making sure there's stone bricks just kind of everywhere, so it's easier to move on, looks nicer, you know. And I have been working on setting up a rocket launch area based off of a little bit of what I've been thinking of and some of the comments that I've read, and I am going to set this up so that we can launch lots of different resources up into orbit here. I've got our decider combinators, and I'm going to run the signal down the substations on the top side here, and then I'm going to have those just branch down to the rockets. Now I've also got a belt up here for the cargo rocket sections and what is this called, the space capsule, and then I'm going to feed resources in from the bottom. So I'm working on this. I've been coming up with some ideas for how I'm going to do this, whether I will stack this horizontally or vertically. I'm not sure just yet. I'm kind of thinking that I might have trains come in from the bottom side of this and maybe just extend out further down this line, and then have a train loading station down below so I can just stretch out as far as I need to. Now I'm going to need to come up with a good way to organize this. I'm not sure how the belts are going to run exactly, but I'll have trains that come in vertically here and feed each of the resources in. You know, iron, copper, all of that will just come in, and the trains can unload and then exit out, and my belts can feed directly into the systems there. And that shouldn't take up too much space. And then I can just expand out horizontally as I need to. But what we're going to look at is fueling this. So I need to build enough fuel to feed each of those. Now down here I have just a few of these, and bots are bringing over the resources, and that's not ideal. I don't want my bots to be bringing them all the time from up here where I'm producing it. I'm going to want to belt it over, and I could do that just straight across this section, straight through here over to where I think I'm going to build the fueling area there. Now I need to figure out how many I'm going to need. How much fuel do I need to produce per second? And how much is it going to take to send a rocket up into orbit? Now if I place down a fuel refinery, I can expand. Let's see. Yeah, I've placed down the fuel, and this gives me 50 per second. So 50 liquid fuel per second. Now I still need to put modules in here and beacon this. So if I put a modules in and put beacons down for this fuel refinery, there's my beacons, we can see exactly how much this will produce. That's not a substation. There's a substation. And so this is going to make 120 a second. Right? Now, what does that mean in relation to how much am I going to use? If I set this novice orbit, let's see, this is going to use 58,000 liquid rocket fuel in order to get us into orbit. Now 58,000, what is that in 120 a second? So let's figure that out using the calculator here. So 58,000, it's going to make 120 each second. So okay, that's a lot. That's, what is that, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, somewhere in that range. So that's a long time. Let's figure this out. 60 seconds, yes, 8 minutes. So it'll take 8 minutes to fuel up a single refinery off of one of these fuels. But I want to know, if I wanted to do 1 per minute, I'm going to need 8 fuel refineries. So if I want to launch 1 rocket per minute, I need 8 fuel refineries. So we're going to need to figure out a good setup for building that out here. And we may need more than that. We'll see as we go on. I mean, 1 rocket every minute seems like it'll probably be pretty good, and we can build out more as we need it, kind of expand our infrastructure so we can get what we need in here, get extras in. And I should have enough space capsules and cargo rocket sections. We'll figure that out in just a minute, but make sure we have enough of those to launch a rocket every minute. Because at this point, I don't know what I'm producing, what I will be producing in cargo rocket sections. I may not even be able to launch a rocket every minute. And we're going to need to bring in resources right through here. I might build it right up here, maybe do a build where the cargo rocket sections are built there, and just have my fuel over in this area. So let's build a few of these out and see what it's going to look like. I do want it to look aesthetically pleasing, so let's get a little bit of space here between the cargo rocket silos and where we're going to build our fuel. And I might mirror it, so have some of the fuel refineries on the top and some on the bottom. I need 8 in total for what I want to do, so I'm going to need to expand out. And I hope that this pipe can actually handle this. I'll have to see how much liquid fuel per second this makes at the end with all 8 of these. Should be roughly 1,000. But yeah, let's get our modules put in. Let's see about putting some beacons down. I need to, where's my beacons? There we go. Let's place this. I'm probably going to need 4 beacons. Make it look somewhat symmetrical here. And then we're also going to have to figure out what we're going to do with power. Yeah, that'll look decent. We just put our speed modules in here. And then we're going to need to run our belts that are feeding the resources in. So this is going to be our solid rocket fuel input. And I can just, how much is this? 1.8 per second. So that I can definitely do that with an inserter. I don't need to use the full loaders and splitters or anything like that. And that will be enough to keep these fed with our solid rocket fuel. Oh, extra belt here. Okay. We need to power this and see what is this going to do. What are we going to get out of this? Yeah, I'm going to need... we may buffer this. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would be a much better idea to include buffers in the form of our liquid... What are they? Pressure tanks. Those things hold a lot of fluid, and what I can do is I can just buffer. Where are they at? Where are they at? Right here they are. Yes. So these hold 300. I think it's 350,000 a piece, and I can have that liquid rocket fuel just waiting if I place it down and have the fuel system fill these up, and then take from them in order to feed our rocket silos. So that's a much better idea. In fact, we're going to go with that. We're going to place down these, what are they called? I've got pumps here going in, so I don't need pumps on the outside. The pressure tanks, I can just have it take directly out of the pressure tanks instead of having a pump there. So I can line it up. Let's move it away from the power pole. And let's see, 4 might be too much, but we're going to see. Let's go ahead and get this ironed out here. And I want these to be pretty equal, right? So I'm going to be able to take out of each of them. They will also balance between one another because they are connected, but I also want to make sure that we are pulling out of them in a balanced manner. So now I can fill these, and the pipes right here, if I use these underground pipes, they take up less UPS on my system, and that's going to help out a lot because as I keep building, see, these only count as 2 pipes, and this is a 5 gap. If I were to put 5 pipes down, that's 5 entities that need updating, whereas the pipes cover that gap with only the 2. So I want to fill these up in a balanced manner, and also have this, like I said before, I want it to look, come on, pump. Keep putting the pump in the wrong spot. I want this to look balanced. I want it to feel balanced, but I also want the build, excuse me, to look symmetrical. So I'm trying to figure out, I can't fit it here. It's going to conflict with that line. Okay, so if I turn the pumps, or the fuel refinery, excuse me, if I turn it this way, I can line it up in the middle there. Is this going to work out? That works out, but this is only 4. I need a lot more than 4 of these here. This would be very balanced, but it's not enough. There's not enough production here to fill these up as quickly as I'm wanting, and it's not going to be expandable. These hold 350,000 a piece. Yeah, so this is what, 4, that's what, 1.4 million with all 4 of them, and you know, that might actually be a bit much. I don't think I need that much. I mean, this is going to be a lot. We're only sending 58,000 with a rocket going into space here. So I don't need 1.4 million liquid fuel here. I think we can get away with just 3. So let's take this last one off at the end here, and then we might be able to better balance our system with only the 3 here. If I connect all of these together, I maybe run a central input line. That's going to prioritize the middle. That might be okay. Like I said, I do want it to be balanced. If we set this up here in a nice mirrored image, kind of like we had it before. And the only issue with this, like I said, is this is going to prioritize filling this first pump. It has the shortest distance. It's going to fill this one up first. And the other 2, it will balance because they are interconnected, but it will balance slowly due to their size, and it's probably going to be fine. We'll just run with it and see what happens. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. It shouldn't be a huge problem whatsoever, and we can get this set up over here. Now I need to run the input lines, and I should consider the fact that I'm going to need, well, not that I'm going to, I may need, let's put this in a same spot either side. I am going to probably need in the future more production than this. So I want to leave room for expansion, as I may need more fuel in the future. I don't know how often I'll be launching rockets when I start building my mega structure up there. Can I get away with 1 substation in between each of those, and then to power these pumps, another substation here? I can get rid of this large power pole. That looks much cleaner. I'm liking that better. Now, this whole setup, this is going to produce, just under 1,000. Like I said, 9 something, 9 some change. It's going to use 15 a second of our solid rocket fuel. I don't even know if I'm producing 15 a second in solid rocket fuel. We'll have to look at that in just a moment. But for now, what I'm going to do is expand this. Let's see. With the throughput of the pipes, we should be fine here. I mean, the pump handles, what, 12,000 a second. Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that I can expand this system and there won't be a throughput issue here. I'll leave room. That's a pipe, not belt. Goodness gracious. Let's put this out to here. And yeah, so I'm probably going to want to double this up maybe in the future. So do I have enough? I'll have to ghost print this. want to make sure I have room to double this up if necessary. So if I come out here, get those out of here. I don't want the bots to bring them and place them right now. What's the best way to do this? Probably bring this down and have one line coming in from a splitter, because this is not going to take up a full blue belt in here. It's what, 14 a second it was, so I can run this out with a single blue belt over to where we have our solid rocket fuel. I'm not sure what we're... Oh, it doesn't make it in a straight line. What a shame. I guess I can come up here and run belt along the top. Let's clean this out. Robots are in the way. Move. Let's try not to pick up any power poles or anything that is needed here. That should be good. Come up over here. I think I can probably sneak it in right along here. No, there's poles and pipes in the way. Let's just run it straight out here. Just for my OCD, we'll run it along this point and clean up this other one. As many straight lines as I can have. And I can take out of this like so. Need to power this with power pole here. And what are we even producing here? That's what I need to check. Oh, not enough. Not enough. We're going to have to look at expanding this. That's not going to be enough. So let's go over here, take our belt, and run it the rest of the way in. I don't know if I like this. Maybe move it out. Yeah, I don't like how that turns here. Let's bring it down to the end of that line. Whoops. Placing belt the wrong way. Uh-oh. Picking up robots. All kinds of stuff happening. Let's finish this out. I need to put underground there where it goes under that pipe. I'll do that in just a minute. Let's run over here. And that pretty much takes care of the fuel. I need to get that underground to get stuff over here. I'm going to disconnect it because I don't want these filling up with fuel just yet. I'm going to start producing a buffer here, and I just want the fuel to sit in here instead of going into our cargo rocket silos. I don't want them to fill up. I may end up picking this up and moving the whole thing, and I don't want to have a bunch of fuel sitting in these if I end up deciding to rearrange these over here. Now, I like this here, and I don't want these to be full and end up moving them and lose all that fuel. Now I need to figure out what we're going to do for the cargo rocket sections, and let's see. So if I want to launch a rocket every minute, I need to figure out how many of these it takes. I'm pretty sure it takes 100 to make the rocket. I think it's the satellite that you get 2% per. I'm pretty sure these. Let's put one down, put a single cargo rocket section in it, and make sure it is actually just the one that it gives you. I just need one of these cargo rocket sections. Place that in there. Yes, so that gives you just 1 out of 100. So I need 100 of these per rocket. And if I want to launch a rocket every minute, then I'm going to need 100 cargo rocket sections every 60 seconds. So let's figure out, clear this out here. 100 cargo rocket sections, 60 seconds. That's 1.6. We'll just say 1.7. Excuse me, 1.7 cargo rocket sections a second. So that's what I need to be producing. And right down here, passing it, I am building the resources needed to make the cargo rocket sections. I have, these are the fuel tanks and the cargo pods here. And I need to see, am I producing enough to feed enough cargo rocket sections per second? So let's put this down. put the recipe in. Can you put production modules in? I don't think you can put production modules in here. No, okay. You definitely cannot, so we're going to just put speed modules in, and we're going to put a beacon down. Let's see what one of these does. Fully speed moduled up. You have some power. Oh, we need power over here. Okay, yeah, so that's not hard to do at all, and this gives me 0.175 per second. So need to okay, hold on. How many of these are we going to need in order to, let's bring the calculator up. The 0.175 per second. If I needed 1.7 a second divided by the 0.175, I need 10. I need 10 of these assemblers in order to produce enough cargo rocket sections to launch a rocket every minute. One rocket a minute. And that may be enough, it may not be enough. Let's put this down, put some beacons down, see what we get here, and maybe this should be enough, and maybe we won't have to expand this for a while. I don't think we're going to need more than one rocket per minute anytime soon, so that's kind of what I'm shooting for. So what do we get? Let's take 7, 1.75, 7. Okay, so we can definitely handle those inputs. I mean, 7 low density structures a second's not hard at all. What are we building down here out of the fuel tanks? Not enough. Okay, so 1.3, and I needed 1.75 per second. So I will need to expand that build in order to supply our cargo rocket sections. But we're going to need to go ahead and pick this up and move it, because these 10... yeah, I'm going to need to place this probably closer and then start figuring out the input lines for this, because we're going to need to supply heat shielding, low density structures, rocket control units, and then the cargo pods and rocket fuel tanks. Those two can be on a belt, yeah, 1.75 per second. That's definitely, none of this is going to take a dedicated belt, a dedicated blue belt. All of these things can be done sharing belts. Rocket control units, low density structures, heat shielding, they're all 7 per second for this build. And I can run it on either side of these assemblers. And that can be dual belt as well right there. I could probably do those with long-handed inserters, the 1.75 for the cargo rocket pieces, the fuel tanks and cargo pods. Let's pick this up and move over here to where we're actually going to build it. Now I want to make sure that I get the resources in, but I don't want to crowd this area. So we're going to need to build see, I don't know about how we're going to feed these in. This one may be my personal rocket, and then the rest of them can be resource rockets. I'm thinking too fast, but let's go ahead, line this up right about here, start, and just run out, and I need 10 of these. And actually, yeah, let's line this up a little further back with our fuel refineries. And I didn't count that. I don't know how many this is. Let's go ahead and put it out. 9. Okay, so I'm 1 shy. Let's place that there. Okay, 10 assemblers. We need to power this. We need to figure out input lines going into this. So we're looking at, we can run a belt in here. This can be any of these resources really, so we just need to do another belt here. We're going to need inputs on the other side. Now this is going to have to probably go underground. I'm going to need beacons around here as well. I may have to do some belt weaving, and or no, I should be able to maybe underground these beacons. Let's place this down, see what we get here. Power this all up. I'm going to move this around. I'm just checking things here to make sure I don't do anything wrong. And this is per machine. I'm getting 0.7 of each and then 0.17, so that's easy. I can handle that with simple assemblers. I was thinking for some reason that each machine was going to take 7 per second, and I was thinking I'd need stack inserters and stuff. No, that's a simple mistake here. Each individual machine takes less than 1 a second. That can be done easily with regular inserters and long-handed inserters. I don't have to do stack inserters or anything crazy like that. So, let's see, this is going to be in the way, and I really would like to get, let's see what happens. I'm going to output with these long-handed inserters to a belt that will run over there to our rockets. Yeah, so this will reach over this belt and output. I'm going to need an input. And, yeah, actually, we're going to move the long-handed inserters to the outside edge and do the short inserters, the fast inserters, here on the inside. It's just a personal preference. It's not a, I don't think it really affects the build anyway. I'm going to need an extra belt. Yes, and then long-handed inserters. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Now to get our cargo rocket sections output here, and we can put our inputs on the close belts. I'm still going to need to do a secondary belt on this bottom side, which we'll have to underground because I'm going to have to long-handed reach. Now I'm going to have to move my beacons in order, well, this is going to, it's not going to fall out in an asymmetric pattern, or excuse me, a symmetric pattern, because I'm going to have to underground in order to get the extra resources that I need over here. So I'm going to have to figure out where I can fit this. See, if I place it here, it's, let's see, I could hit 4 machines with this, but then I can't reach with a long-handed inserter. So if I were to, say, place it right here, the long-handed inserter wouldn't be able to reach, it would be grabbing into the beacon here. So I'm going to have to move this inserter. It's going to mess with this symmetry of the build, but it'll be okay for now. Yeah, just do a long-handed, and then I can underground underneath our beacon and be able to reach these resources, but the beacons still reach what they need to. Now later on, there's better beacons that have better range, and I won't have this issue. Let's see, well, I broke the power. That should get power running again. Okay. Oh, it's effort to our build down here. So I need to figure out how we're going to place these beacons around here so I can still reach with every machine. But I don't want to use too many beacons because that, like if I were to split these up and do 3, 3, 3, and a 4th one, that's 4 beacons. And that's an extra beacon, and beacons are wasteful on your UPS. So I don't want to do that. I want to try and make the most out of each beacon. Even though I'm still going to end up with 3 here, I won't have 4. So let's place this. That's going to overlap. Let's see. There should be fine. It's going to look a little strange, kind of sticking out at the end, but we will go with it and just let that be all right for now. Let's see. Here we go. Long-handed inserters. This will. I'm going to have to move this one again. And then I need a belt. Don't forget, let's see. Don't want to forget the inserter here that I swapped out. Yep, there we go, okay. Oh, that would have been bad. That machine wouldn't have been running and I wouldn't be getting what I'm thinking. I think I can do this with just 2 of these? Yeah. I don't like the crooked power cable. Put that in there. Another large power pole right here. Now we're looking good. We're getting somewhere. So we have our resources kind of lined out here, and we can start running our feed line. Oh, some pipes right there. I think I can just go up. One more. And this will be where our cargo rocket sections come into this line at. And now we just need to work on these space capsules and the resources being fed into here. We're probably going to move that build up here. Like I was saying before, I don't want to leave all of these things sitting down here. There's no reason to build it down here. I can build everything up there using some iron, red circuit steel. Some more steel. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, and so that's what we're bringing in. Oops. Nope. Actually, yeah, I need to have that there. I should be making these pumps in the mall instead of here, but we're going to put this back in case I've made a mistake and I don't remember. But what we need to do here is figure out what resources we are bringing into this build with the bots from the mall and which ones we're building here. Maybe we can come up with a better system for this and make so the mall can make the items that are more oddball like it still is doing, and we can bring those over to the bots and maybe, I don't know, maybe make all of the things in the mall. We're going to move these green circuit builds out of here and possibly the science as well into modular builds, and that'll leave us with a lot of room over here to expand with. But this is definitely going to need to move. Just take all of this and bring it up here. There's no reason to build those items down there and transport them all the way up when I can just build them locally here, right where I need to consume them, because they're not used for any other recipes. But that's going to be it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more content like this. And I will see you all next time.